Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country. It's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning at 1 a.m. in London, 3 a.m. in Israel, and it's 9 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. And here we are once again on another Thursday here. We're coming out of New York City live. That's where we originate. And we welcome you to another edition of Talk Back Live. This is a place where we get together each week and have you join us because you could be involved in a conversation. That is why they call it Talk Back Live. And we all get together. And those of you who are here for forever, you've known all about this show from the beginning. Well, we thank you for being a regular, and we thank you for being part of us each week, and we're so grateful for that. Now, let me just conversate with the people who just arrived. Maybe you just arrived last week, and maybe tonight is your very first time here. Let me tell you how this show works. Of course, as the host, I am going to get things started as usual, get the conversation going, and while I'm doing that, preparing as I'm doing right now, you could at any time you want, from this point on, you can type in whatever you want to say, and I'll see you right there on the big screen. Now, you may have a topic that you want to talk about in particular. Be part of the show. You can do that. All you have to do, again, just use your fingers on your keyboard, on your computer, on your telephone, on your tablet, or whatever device that you use that can communicate, or you could pick us up on. Please do that. And I will see you again. And of course, I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas. And those of you who want to sit back and relax and not conversate, well, that's okay too, just as long as you're out there. But it's always nice that I get a chance to talk to you personally and greet you personally. So remember, all of the topics are out there, and they're put on the table, and we'll try to get them on as many as possible if you want to do that. For those of you, again, who are joining us for the first time, we're here coming from 3 different places. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Now, for those of you who are watching us, you know that if you're watching us on YouTube, you could always tag your friends. You can get that started right now. Please do that. All you have to do is just tag them. They'll see your notification. They'll know it's from you. They'll click onto it, and it'll pop right up. And of course, that'll gain us some new listeners and viewers. And we really would appreciate that if you did that. Now, you can do 1, 2, all of them if you want. But I know maybe you have a selective few of friends that you would like to introduce to the show. Maybe you can't get them all in today. Maybe little by little each week, you can generate more, bring them out here. The more the merrier. We really would love that. So do that right now. We really would appreciate that. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, I always encourage all of you to please click on to YouTube, go onto my YouTube channel, and click on to that little sign where it says subscribe. Just drag your mouse over there and click onto it. You can be assured there's no charge for it. There's no obligation of any kind. It's just that it just makes you a member, and you can contact us anytime you want. And also, the fun thing about it is that whenever we come on live and you may be forgetting about the show or something, and you happen to be on the computer doing something, you'll get a notification just as a reminder to let you know that we're on live. And the same thing goes for if we, let's say, post a video of some sort on our channel. You'll get that same notification, and if you desire, you just click onto that pop-up, and it'll bring you right to the YouTube channel. That's all it takes. We really would appreciate that. So do me a favor and click onto it right now. I love when everybody generates a lot of, I love when they generate a lot of viewers, and this is one of the ways to do it. Now, if you're watching us on Instagram, you don't have to worry about doing anything. The only thing that you have to do is just keep the word going. On and on and on and on each week. Let everybody know, your family, your friends, relatives, and anybody you know, just let them know that we're out here and get them involved in the show as well. Okay, that's all we ask for. But I'm glad to have you out there, whoever you are and wherever you are. We're all over the world. We're global. So it doesn't matter. You could be someplace on the other side of the world, and we're right there with you. We're global, and we're happy to have you aboard with us. We've got things going on as usual. We have our certain things that we do around here on the show in conjunction with interacting with you too. We also have our regular routine. For instance, within this half hour, not too long from now, in a few minutes from now, we've got Brian Camp. He's going to be checking in from Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina, that's where he's going to be coming from. We can link up with him, and he's going to be here bringing us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. I hope you'll be around for that. He'll be here. You'll get a chance to meet him, by the way, if you're watching us on YouTube and Facebook. But if you're watching us on Instagram, that luxury is not available because we're not able to do that with Instagram. Who knows, maybe someday down the road, they'll have that feature allowing us to do that. But right now, that's all we'll get. But you'll get a chance to hear him. You could hear him, and you could still communicate with him at the same time. So if you have any questions, any sports-related questions of any sort, while he's on the air here, you can talk to him while he's here, just like that. And it's all free. And the same thing, other people come in, you get a chance to meet other people when they come in, and you can talk to them. So we can talk to each other. That's how we do it. So that's coming up within a few minutes from now, within this half hour, Sports Update with Brian Camp. Also, I have this thing, what we call This Day in History. Now, this day in history, whatever happened on this day in history way back when? How far back? I don't know, as far back as we can take it. But we'll have that information coming in. We'll read that off for you. We recite those things for you. This day in history, that's one of our features in the show as well. So that's coming up too. And later on in the program, before it's all over, I have, as usual, great movies that I just want to add to your bucket list of what to watch. You're saying, what's that all about? Well, you know, if you're on the weekend circuit, and if you have off and you're not doing anything and whatever you do on the weekend, but you want to make one of the things to do on the weekend is catch up on some old movies you haven't seen in a long time. And well, I'm here to help out with that. You can do that. I'm pretty sure you're very resourceful and you can find out where those movies are. But I have a few that I want to add to you. I have them, my picks of the week. They're always my picks of the week, and I have them, and I'm going to add those to your bucket list of movies on what to watch. So all of that is coming up, and it's right here on Talk Back Live. Remember, all of the view and the opinions expressed on this show, Talk Back Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast publication. So there we are. We're all in session as if this was a class. But again, thank you so much for being along. It's been a long, long week. It doesn't even seem that long, right? The weekend is coming up. Would you believe it? It only seems like we just got off the weekend circuit from last week. It only seems that way. But here we are. We got one more coming up. And if you could stand one more day, Friday. But in some places, it's already Friday. But we didn't get to our Fridays yet because we're on a different time zone. But if you can get by that Friday, then you got the weekend, providing you have the luxury of being off, you don't have to work or anything like that, and you can do whatever you want to do. Well, there you go. We're happy for you on that circuit. So the weekend is coming up, like it or not. I'm pretty sure you like it, though. A lot of people do. And, you know, one of the things that I'm looking for in my weekend, now I live in New York, right? And our weather forecast has been very, very shaky, especially this summer. It was a very unstable, summerish kind of weather, you know. And for the past 6 weeks on Saturdays, we've been getting rain. And I say the past 6 weeks because we're going to be getting rain this Saturday. You know, not as bad as it was last week, but, you know, you don't want to hear all of my woes. But I am looking forward to the day and the hour when the sun will come out all day on Saturday. so we kind of missed that. But anyway, weekends are always nice. You can do anything, rain or shine. You can pick on some of the things that you like to do. And in some places, you can still do outdoor activities because the weather is still warm sometime in your area. And I think where Brian is, it's probably warmer than it is over here. I know that. I mean, it's not bad here in New York, but there's a nip in the air every once in a while. So we have to prepare for that. And of course, as we go along, we're already in October. As we go along, we're going to have to brace ourselves for the cold weather that's just about to come upon us, right? And so that means when you go shopping, you want to stock up on a lot of things that'll keep you warm, hot soups and teas and coffee and cocoa or whatever it is that you do. When I was growing up as a kid, we used to drink with this thing called Swiss Miss, which is still on the market. And, once a kid, always a kid. So I still love it. But you can stock up on all of those things and they all come up. So be prepared for all that's coming up, especially in the winter. Now, people on the other side of the world, right? On the other side of the world, whenever we get the cold weather, they get the warm weather. They get the summertime. So it's their turn. Our turn is to freeze to death, but their turn is to stay in the heat. And in some places, of course, heat, it could be very intensive, so there you go. But again, we're happy to have you along with us, and we want you to stay with us. Now, a lot of you may be on the time zone where it's work for you. You have work going on. Okay, well, don't worry about that. Stay with us. Stay on your computer. Stay at your desk. I want to tell you about we talked about the cold weather, right? And that just brings to mind the flu season, which is upon us right now, right? It's coming up. And the flu season doesn't require you, but it just keeps you in mind that you ought to take your flu shots. Now you can go to your favorite pharmacist, right, and get your flu shot. Whether you have to make an appointment or you can just walk right in, it's the time to take it right away. It's time to take it. So you go there and get that done, and be aware that it doesn't hurt. So it's an in and out thing. You walk in there, they have you set up. To take you back there where you're supposed to get shot, roll up your sleeve, and boom, and it's all over, right? So do that. It's in most cases the flu shots are free. There's another shot available that you could take at the same time, but that would be up to you. It's the new COVID shot, the new COVID-19 shot. That's available too. And as I said, you could take both at the same time if you like. If not, take it maybe 2 weeks after, but I think it's very important for you to do that. So go get your shots. They're very important. Your COVID shots and of course your flu shots. It's all available to you. If you don't know where your nearest pharmacist is, your pharmacist, Google it, find out. It's very easy to find out. Okay, so we look forward to you doing that. And let me know, put a note on my desk after you have done it. Let me know that you've done it. Okay. All right, and also we want to acknowledge that this entire month, we are acknowledging Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You've seen a lot of people, women, even men, they're going around wearing I don't have one, and I really should have one, but they have the little ribbon, the pink ribbon, crisscross ribbon on their lapels and jackets and things like that. That's kind of a form of supporting women. Now, you have women in your family, we all do, your wife, your girlfriend, your niece, your cousins, anyone that's in the female persuasion. You want to support them, even if they don't have the crisis or do not in any way have a breast cancer. But you never know, you still want to support them all. Even the ones that you don't know, we support them all. So that's why we salute them and say that we'd like to thank you for supporting that. So there you go. You have Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Did you hear about Kelly Clarkson? Oh, those of you who are Kelly Clarkson fans, raise your hand, right? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Well, Kelly Clarkson, as you know, she's a tremendous singer. Kelly Clarkson also, she has her own show on TV, and you can see her all the time when you're watching those what are those fairway commercials? She's on there a lot, and she has her own show. Now, her show comes out of Los Angeles, California, but the good news now, if you're a New Yorker, you might like this, she's moving out of LA and she's coming to New York. She's bringing her show to New York. So those of you who live in New York, I don't know when it's going to start. I'll find out. I would love to have her on the show. Maybe we'll have her here next week to find out more about it. Maybe for about 10 minutes or so, have her on the air with us. But we'll see if we can work on that. Okay. So, yeah, so she's coming to New York. She's coming to New York, and I'm looking forward to it. And so I want to say to Kelly Clarkson, just in case you're watching, congratulations. Welcome to New York. We open all of our arms. We welcome you with open arms. Hey, Kelly Clarkson, well, she's a great singer. Really love her. Actress Piper Laurie, who blossomed as an actress only after extricating herself from the studio system and went on to rack up 3 Oscar nominations, has died last Saturday. Laurie scored her first Oscar nomination for her work opposite Paul Newman in the 1961 classic pool hall drama, The Hustler. She played in other classic films such as Carrie, Children of a Lesser God, and a lot others. So we bid farewell to her. She was 91 years old. Suzanne Summers, best known for her roles as Three's Company and Step by Step. She has died peacefully at her home last Sunday morning. She survived an aggressive form of breast cancer. We just got finished talking about that. And she survived that for like 23 years. Suzanne was surrounded by her husband, Allan, her son, Bruce, and her immediate family. She was just one day shy of her 77th birthday. And Carly Bley, an influential new jazz composer and pianist, died at her home in Wool, New York, due to complications of a brain cancer. Bly's partner over 30 years, bassist Steve Swallow, confirmed the news to the New York Times. Carla Bley was 87 years old. And as we speak, President Joe Biden, at this moment, while you're watching me, he's addressing the country and the world about the war between Israel and Hamas. And they're doing it directly from the Oval Office. We're going to talk more about that a little later on as the show progresses. But right now, let's go over to Charlotte, North Carolina, because we're a little late, and get Brian in here with us, because Brian is here with the latest developments in today's world of sports. And the name of his show is called Sports Update. Brian, what's happening in sports? I mean, it was a little slow this week in sports, except for football.
Well, I'm happy about the big star that's above my head there, the Dallas Cowboys. You know? So nothing too bad is happening. So I guess everything is okay with that. Burt Young passed away. I don't know if you know. Burt Young played as the trainer of Rocky Balboa in the Rocky series of those movies. He was known as I forget what was his name. What was his name in the movie? But Paulie, yeah. He passed away. I don't know if he was sick, but the news came over maybe a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but you know that he died October 8th? Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was sometime the 8th, but it was only reported a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if they kept it quiet. Suzanne Summers.
Yeah.
These are all childhood people that we used to watch on television.
Yeah.
And
it was told.
So sad.
It was a rumor that Paulie lived in my neighborhood, but I'd never seen him. I've heard people
Really?
in the neighborhood said that he lived in my area, but I'd never seen him. But I digress.
Yeah, it's rough out there. But good evening to you out there, to everybody out there watching globally, out here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. It is 63 degrees in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Brian, let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you for one.
Yeah.
We're doing without Instagram tonight. I forgot to mention that. We had another technical burst, but we'll try to get it back in action tomorrow. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, maybe they could catch the replay. They could catch the replay on YouTube. If you can't catch you on Instagram, catch it on a replay, the tape delay, as they used to call it from back in the day. But yeah, it's not that much sports. The only thing I could tell you is that the NBA is going to be starting soon, another week or so. Basketball season is coming up. Football season is in full swing. And baseball is about to go away. But before it goes away, the Arizona Diamondbacks got back into the series. They won today. They beat the Philadelphia Phillies 2-1. So the Phillies still lead the series 2-1. So sports is here. I think coming up, Sunday or maybe the following Sunday, you're going to have sports, all three major sports on at the same time. Incredible. Beautiful time of the year. Beautiful time of the year. And of course, my Dallas Cowboys, America's team, God's team, yes, are still in full swing. I know the haters are out there. That's okay. That's fine. Let them hate, but they're going to be there. I know it's been close to 30 years, but we still America's team. Go Cowboys. But this day in sports, I'm going to give you some history. This day in sports, October 19th, 1974, Detroit Piston Trailblazers in Portland when it was their first win, but their next win was in June 1st of 1990. Yes, that was a long time ago. 1991, the longest NCAA college football game was 3 hours and 52 minutes as Rhode Island defeated Maine in 6 overtimes. That's a lot of overtime. 1997, the 700th career World Series home run was hit by Sandy Alomar of the Cleveland Indians. They're now called the Cleveland Guardians. 2022, the Philadelphia Phillies righty Aaron Nola faced his brother San Diego Austin Nola in the first Major League playoff sibling pitcher versus batter. Yes. I don't know the result, who won that battle. It was a strikeout or a base hit. We don't know. Could have been a walk. Baseball, 1949, birthdays, 1949, Lynn Dickey, NFL quarterback, was born in Polola, Kansas. 1954, Joe Jellybean Bryant. He is the father of the late Kobe Bryant. His NBA center was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 1962, that's the year I was born. Evander Holyfield, heavyweight boxing champion, was born in Outmore, Alabama. And in 1965, Brad Daugherty, NBA center and broadcaster, was born in Black Mountain, North Carolina, home of the Wright brothers who flew the first plane. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a brief sportscast.
Well, we're just hoping that more sports this weekend, will all, develop more and more now, because it was kind of slow this week, it's kind of slow.
It was, like I said, the NBA is gearing up for their season. They're about to complete their last preseason game. Yeah. They should be getting ready soon. The NFL is at peak season now. They're starting week 6, I believe. Mm-hmm. And baseball, they're coming down to the end of the fall classic. The playoffs are in, and it's that time of the year. Yeah, it's fun, but gear up. Sports is still 24 hours all year long.
If they keep this up, baseball is going to go into November. It's already the 19th of October already. And,
exactly.
I can remember, I can't remember what year it was, but I can remember one time it took so long that the World Series started in November. Wasn't that the same year that they gave Derek Jeter the name Mr. November?
Yeah, because technology has changed where now sports is like the season is long. They extended the playoff format by adding more teams, so that's why it will go into November. And, the World Series eventually was going to go into maybe mid-November. Who knows? Same thing with the NBA season. The NBA season usually ends around May. Now they're into June, mid-June. So adding more playoff teams, you're going to get a longer season. Yeah, that's how it is.
I guess in baseball, they're going to make their quick turnaround after the season ends, after the World Series is over. They're going to go right back to Florida for spring training. It's just that quick. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, you mentioned, and I researched it. I just wanted to check it out for myself. Remember, we were talking about setting the clocks back, and I told you that it's a possibility that they won't be doing that. Well, they must have changed their mind, because I went online to check it out for sure. And it looks like it's going to go forward that we're going to be setting our clocks back this November. November 5th would be the day, by the way. So, yeah, we'll be setting our clocks back. So they're not, I guess they don't care about that extra daylight.
Isn't it forward? I thought it was forward. Forward means fall. Spring means back.
Spring is forward. Spring up is forward.
Okay.
That's forward. And they say fall back. That's how you remember.
Fall back.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Yeah.
Go back 1 hour. I'll go back 1 hour.
So that we get that extra hour sleep, of course.
Extra hour sleep, and people love that when it happens. It's when we spring up. People worried about, I'm going to lose an hour's sleep. And I usually tell them, well, go to bed an hour earlier than you normally did, and you won't feel a thing.
Right. That's right. And usually this happens in the New York Marathon. That's when that time will change, and that's coming up soon. So that's a big event in New York City. If you're going to be around with that marathon I believe it's on a Sunday, you better make preparations and expect delays on that Sunday. So that's when you know that it's officially time to change your clocks. Yes,
I learned that the hard way, because I did it one time and I started driving to a destination and I got stuck. I got stuck the whole time. Couldn't make any crosses or anything. Got stuck the whole time. So I learned that the hard way. Best way to get around is take mass transit. If you want to,
mass transit. Yeah.
Don't do any driving. Forget about it, because you get stuck. Of course, you want to study the routes of where they're traveling, and maybe you could avoid it. But other than that, no, I wouldn't drive. Not at all.
It's the 5 boroughs of New York City. That's where the marathon will hit.
Yeah,
all 5 boroughs of New York City. Yeah. So it's going to be a little traffic there.
Yeah.
So adjust your schedule accordingly.
Yeah, that I would say that, and keep the car home. Just take mass transit. Those of you who drive and are so used to driving for so many years, you probably will hate the thought of jumping on the subway or the bus, but not even the bus. Not even the bus. You go underground. Take the subway, because the buses, they may detour the buses someplace else, and that may put you out of your way. But
well, I tell you this. One thing about New York, as a former native New Yorker, you can count on the subways and the buses. It's 24 hours. And living down here in the South, at a certain time, you on your own. You're not going to get that bus or that train. There's no subways. There's no connection. You got to just make sure your car's running well. So. And to be alert. So.
And in New York, we have more cars than we can handle. New Yorkers, they just like cars. But, here in New York, a car here in New York is not a necessity. It's a luxury, Yeah. Like where you live, you have to have a car,
That's right.
Or someplace in California, or someplace where, there's no mass transit. And in some places where the bus stopped running at a certain hour. I know in Los Angeles, the bus stops working. And if you're stuck, that means you either have to walk or take a cab or whatever. You know? Oh boy.
Not a good feeling.
Oh,
Not a good feeling. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Are you back here tomorrow? What's doing?
I'll be back here tomorrow at 10:20. Hopefully get some more update with sports. I doubt we'll get anything, but I'm a 24-hour man. That's not my life, but yeah, I'll be here for 10:20 for the coffee hour. I'll have, well, for me it'd be the tea hour. I'll have some herbal tea and be ready to raring to go.
Sounds good. Okay, we'll catch you back here tomorrow then. Take care of yourself. And we'll talk to you then.
Please.
Take care. All right.
Take care now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's here every week at this time, and you already heard him that he's going to be here tomorrow for the coffee hour. Well, I didn't mention that. We have another show for those of you who are newcomers. We have two shows. We have this show every Thursday, and we have the coffee hour every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. We want you to join us then. Brian, again, will be here for more talk on sports. And of course, if you have any questions, even though he's gone right now, if you have any sports related questions, feel free, and I will transfer all of the questions to him. We'll give you the answers right away. So thank you so much for being along. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. Is what we do each week, talk back to everyone. And of course, that's you too, talk back to everyone. And again, if you're at work right now, stay at your desk, at your computer, because some of you guys are in a different time zone. You're in the early morning hours. And, as we're here at night, and you may be working. So this is a good time to, stay at your desk and watch the show at the same time. We really appreciate them. Don't forget to tell your family and friends, keep them abreast on every time we come on the air. And as I said before, you can keep up with us. Again, I would like to tell all of you guys who are watching Facebook to tag all of your friends for the remaining time of the show that we have, right? We have a little bit under a half hour of the show. And for the remaining time that you have, tag them, and they'll see your tag and they'll come right in, hopefully, and they'll see you and they'll see me and the rest of us here on the show, and they can talk back live just like the rest of everybody else. And again, for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, don't forget to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to it. That will give you a chance to know when you subscribe to this channel, is that when we come on live or post a video of some sort, it will pop right up. That instant message will pop right up. And for you to get there in touch with us instantly, just click onto that message. It'll bring you right to the channel. And for those of you, again, who are watching us on Instagram, well, you're not watching tonight. I'm going to have to tomorrow explain what happened to Instagram. We had a little technical problem once again. I don't know, they just keep asking for different passwords, and I'm not sure what's going on with them, but we'll fix the problem. And I promise you we'll be back on Instagram tomorrow. But I hope the people who are normally watching on Instagram are watching us right here, right now, either on Facebook or YouTube. But nevertheless, a great place to be is right here. And I really thank you so much for being here with us right here on our Talk Back Live show, which again, it comes on each week. Okay, it's time to get rolling right now. And we talk about what's happening in this day in history. On this day in history, 1951, US President Harry Truman formally ends state of war in Germany. On this day in history, 1953, singer Julius LaRosa is fired on TV by Arthur Godfrey. I remember that very well back in 1953. On this day in history, in 1954, KAKE TV, Channel 10 in Wichita, Kansas, ABC station begins broadcasting. On this day in history, in 1957, Richard Adler and Jerry Ross musical Damn Yankees closes at the 46th Street Theater in New York City after 1,022 performances, and it wins 7 Tony Awards. On this day in history, 1959, actress Florence Henderson joins the Today Show panel. On this day in history, in 1960, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was arrested in Atlanta at a sit-in. Also in 1960, the U.S. proposed embargo on exports to Cuba. Back in 1973, Ringo Starr releases his music single Photograph in the UK. Back in 1975, a chorus line held record longest running Broadway show, 6,132 performances premiered on Broadway at the Shubert Theater in New York City. In 1976, US President Gerald Ford signs the first major revision of copyright law since 1909. Back in 1987, Anything Goes opens at the Belmont Theater in New York City for 804 performances. In 1990, Dances with the Wolves, starring Kevin Costner, or Dances with Wolves, starring Kevin Costner, Mary McDonnell, premieres in Washington, D.C. It earned the Academy Awards Best Picture in 1991. In 1999, Cher releases her single Believe. It made the Billboard Song of the Year that same year and Grammy Award Best Dance Recording 2000, the year 2000. In 2005, Saddam Hussein goes on trial in Baghdad for crimes against humanity. In 2010, Decca Records releases The Union. That's a collaboration album between Elton John and Leon Russell. In the United States, it becomes the highest charting album for both artists in over 30 years. In 1914, actress, there we go, that's 1914, that's the year. 1914, actress Juanita Moore, she was starring in The Imitation of Life. She was born in Greenwood, Mississippi. She died 2014. In 1920, actress comedian LaWanda Page, who plays Aunt Esther in Sanford and Son, was born in Cleveland, Ohio. She passed away 2002. In 1932, actor Robert Reed, who played Mike on the Brady Bunch, that's the hubby, the father. He was born in Highland Park, Illinois, 1992. In 1934, actor Lloyd Haynes of Room 222 was born in South Bend, Indiana. He died in 1986. Psychedelic artist Peter Max, remember him? He was born on this day in 1937 in Berlin, Germany, and he's 86 years old today. And in 1940, doo-wop vocalist and my good friend Larry Chance, I miss him dearly. He was with a group called the Earls, and he did that great hit, Remember Then. He was born in the Bronx in New York, and he just died just a couple of months ago. In 1944, soul and disco singer George McRae, with his big hit Rock Your Baby, was born in West Palm Beach, Florida. He's 79 years old today. In 1944, reggae musician Peter Tosh was born in Westmoreland, Jamaica. He passed away in 1987. In 1945, pop country singer Jeannie C. Riley, with a Harper Valley PTA song, was born in Stanford, Texas. She's 78 years old today. Actor John Lithgow was born on this day in 1945 in Rochester, New York. He's 78 years old today. In 1951, stage and television performer Uncle Floyd of the Uncle Floyd Show was born in Paterson, New Jersey. He's 72 years old today. In 1967, Amy Carter, US President Jimmy Carter's daughter, was born in Plains, Georgia. She's 56 years old today. In 1991, filmmaker Michael Moore weds movie producer Kathleen Glenn. In 2012, singer Justin Timberlake weds actress Jessica Biel. In Fasano, Italy. In 1978, actor Gig Young commits suicide at the age of 64 years old. In 1995, jazz trumpeter Don Cherry dies from liver cancer at the age of 58. In 2008, comedian and actor Rudy Ray Moore died on this day, and he was born 1937. In 2010, actor Tom Bosley of Happy Days, he played Howard, that was the husband of, and the father of Richie Cunningham, died at the age of 83. And finally, the year 2020, Spencer Davis of the Spencer Davis Group. Give me some loving. Remember that? Well, he died of pneumonia at the age of 81 years old. And that's this day in history. I hope that you enjoyed that. And by the way, if you know anything that happened on this day in history and I didn't mention it, please, help me out here. You can get there, use your fingers, type it in, and let me know what that is so I can convey it to everyone else. And anyone who's out there watching and online with us would see that anyway. But I will announce it anyway, just in case they're not paying attention. So do that. So that's what's happening on this day in history. Now, I always ask you guys if you like to get involved with the show and talk. And a lot of people don't, and I understand that. Some people are shy, some people just rather not. But somebody would say, something, I don't want to talk to you online, but I want to talk to you, but you got to give me some information how I can get in touch with you personally. Okay, I can help with that. I have an email address and a telephone number, and I would like you to have it and keep it someplace where it'll be safe, and you can pick it up at any time you want. Let's start with my email address, frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. I also have a telephone number. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. As far as my email goes, well, remember to spell Allan, A-L-L-A-N. Okay, any other way, you won't get in touch with me. I will never get your email. That's Frank Allen Prod. Prod is P-R-O-D. frankallenprod@aol.com. And when you get in touch with me, you may want to get in touch with me for different reasons. You may want to get in touch with me just to say hi. That's okay too. It's never a waste of time. Or maybe you want to critique the show, or maybe you want to know more about the show. Or maybe you have an idea about the show that you want to convey to everyone else. Or maybe you want me off the air completely and you want to take over the show. Well, we'll see what we can do. Just get in touch with me at any time. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And of course, it's always open to all of you. We always love to hear whatever you have to say. Now, keep in mind, if you want to criticize us, that's okay, because, that helps us let us know the direction we're going, or maybe a direction we should be going and we're not going there, or anything like that, because we're thick-skinned. You won't hurt our feelings. You'll only help us when you do that, as long as you're diplomatic about it, right? So get in touch with us as soon as possible. I would love to hear from you. You keep that email address once again. It's frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Again, the telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Earlier in the show, we mentioned about President Joe Biden going on the air. Well, he did a 20-minute, someplace around 20 minutes. It's over now. He did that. He addressed the audience, the nation, and he did that in response to his trip to Israel and addressing the war against Israel and Hamas. And he addressed that. Now, of course, obviously, I didn't see it, but after I get off the air, not seeing it in real time, I'm going to watch the reruns. Of course, watch. We have in our studios over there, we have the engineers over there record it. And so we're going to go back and watch it after I get off the air. Or maybe they'd be nice enough to put it on disc so I can take it home and watch it there. Whatever. But I'm going to get a chance to watch it because I want to find out what was going on with it. Some of you may had a chance to take advantage on watching it and then come and watch the show. Well, that's okay. I forgive you on that one. I think it was a very important, I'm pretty sure it was a very important address to the nation. And of course, I'm going to get a chance to watch it. And as you already know, he took a trip to Israel and he did a quick turnaround. He arrived in Israel Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. And he stayed all day, and you saw some of the footage. You know, he greeted the people that were there. He gave them hope. And by the way, he was the first president to visit any place while they were at war. And it just so happens that Israel is at war, and he went to visit them. They were happy to see him, and it was nice of him to do that. I'm not sure if the last administration would have done that. You know, looking at the record, backtracking the record on his his criticisms on Israel. You know, I'm not so sure he would have done that. You know, it probably would have been business as usual. So whatever you say about Joe Biden, you can say whatever you want about Joe Biden, but I thought it was a grand gesture that he went to do that, take his time out. He didn't stay long. He went out there for a whole day, and he jumped back on Air Force One. He's back in Washington now, as we already discovered. He did the address from the Oval Office, but I thought it was nice of him to do that. And we already know what's going on over there right now. There's a lot of things going on right now. And the latest developments over there is they have 32 Americans who are dead and 11 injured. And of course, a lot of people were taken hostage. You had little babies who were killed. You saw the images. If you were able to stomach them, the images were very terrible. And you saw them. And, you know, you had the senior citizens who have no idea what's going on, and they were taken hostage. People who survived the Holocaust, it was like a nightmare for them. They survived the Holocaust, but it was like deja vu all over again. People were taken out of their houses like they did in the old days. The Nazis, when they came in and grabbed all of the Jewish people out of their houses and took them and tortured them. And you know something, we got Israel, you know, with this war in Israel and right the Gaza Strip. Now, both sides, you know, they have their children. They're the Jewish children and the Palestinian children. And I think about that. And at this particular point, I want to put who started the war. I want to put that aside. And I think about those kids, those babies who haven't had a chance of life, who are gone, who were killed, who were murdered, who were tortured. Teenage boys and girls were pulled out of a nightclub having a good time, you know, enjoying the nightlife, were pulled out of there. And so many things are happening. It's like I was going to say like a war zone, but it is a war zone. You see the buildings and they look like skeletons. And the streets are covered with rubble. And people are lying in the streets dead, you know. But I think, again, I want to say it was very nice of the president to do what he did, to go there and visit those people and give them hope. And because he said, and I concur with him, that Israel is not alone with this. After all, Israel, that's the United States ally. And of course, they are there and we are with them. And so I stand with them. And I just want to think the right thoughts about this whole thing. And this is a terrible war. We don't know how long it's going to go wrong. But I understand also when he made the address tonight, the president made his address tonight, he also made the address mention the war in Ukraine. And so, but I'll get a chance to see that. And some of you, I would hope that you'll get a chance to see it. If you didn't see it in real time, if you're busy watching the show, you can go online. I'm pretty sure you can go online. I guess you can go on some of the reputable media outlets who may broadcast it, like maybe CNN or the New York Times or whatever. They have a place where they can show you the entire video, but I think it's good to watch, and I'm gonna get a chance to watch it. Sorry I couldn't watch it in real time because I'm on the air. So thank you, Mr. President. I don't see you in person to thank you, but I want to thank you anyway. I don't know if you ever watched the show, but whoever watches the show that knows the president, maybe a Secret Service man or something, or a woman that's in touch with the president. I hope this gets back to him. You're doing a marvelous job. I salute you with both hands. And of course, also in the news, you heard about the situation. We got a big thing going in Washington, D.C. The Republicans, they can't even seem to get their act together on who are they going to get as a speaker. And of course, Steve Scalise, he bowed out last week, right? And the only person that's available right now is Jim Jones, and he can't even get 117 votes. And I think they were like up to the third voting. I think they were at 3. Unless, of course, they made another one before. I have to check that out too. I'm on the air, so I don't get to know all of these things. And even before I go on the air, I don't get to know all of that because I'm busy setting up, getting ready to do this. But when I look back last time, there were 3 votes, and he lost all of them so far. And so they're still working on who they're going to get. And then they have their eye on Patrick McHenry, and he is supposed to be the so-called substitute, I guess, up until the time is over when they have to elect a new Speaker of the House, which in my opinion, when that happens, the Republicans are going to get that. But I'm pretty sure at this particular time, if they ever get another speaker in time, because we have only a few days before we face another government shutdown. And hopefully something will happen. We'll get someone in there. Again, I'm not a big fan of Kevin McCarthy, but I thought that was the wrong time for them to get rid of him. At least they had a speaker in the House. We could have got some work done. But now, since there's no speaker, there's no work to get done. And if this is not resolved by the time, if the government shuts down, there's nothing we can do about it. Of course, everything's going to be at a standstill. The government is going to be shut down, and all government buildings will be gone, and people who work for the government employees will be not getting their paychecks, military guys not getting their paychecks, and it's a whole big mess. So they're still working on that. I think there may be another voting tomorrow or maybe the next day or something like that. Again, when I'm preparing for the show, I kind of lose touch with the news. So if you're out there, if anybody knows that, you want to pass that along to me, I'd be glad to know that. I'll be glad to pass it along to other people. And then we'll see what happens. But that's what they're doing. That's where it is right now. That's where it is right now. They're still looking for the miracle Speaker of the House. When is that going to be? Well, Republicans, I could ask the question, when is that going to be? When you're going to take care of business? When you're going to shape up? Because they don't really have the act together, and they're just waiting. They're just waiting patiently on when this is going to. Everybody's waiting. With bated breath, we're waiting. And the other news, of course, you heard about the lawyer Sidney Powell. She pleaded guilty to reduced charges on Thursday over the effects of overturning 345/666 Beast Incarnate, lost in 2020. Remember that? The election in Georgia, remember? And becoming the second defendant. She becomes the second defendant in the sprawling case to reach a deal. Now, she reached a deal with the prosecutors. As part of the deal, this is what her part of the deal is. The part of the deal is she will be serving 6 years of probation with a fine of $6,000 and will have to write an apology letter, which I think she probably already did apology letter to Georgia and its residents. She'll have to do that. And she's also agreed to testify truthfully against her co-defendants at the final trial. You know what that means? That means she's turning the tables. That means she's flipping. She's flipping on 345/666 Beast Incarnate. This does not look good for him. And And by the way, she would probably be the first one to flip on him. And she's already done it as of tonight or Thursday night. She flipped on him. And so there's more to come. Now, if she breaks that deal, if she breaks and does not intend to testify or whatever it is, the deal is off, she could face jail time. And she's got this deal to avoid jail time. So there's more to come. Stay tuned. Film at 11. And it's time for me to give you those movies I told you so much about. Yeah, those Turner Classic Movies. They're always my pick of the week. And I'm so glad to be part of your weekend. And those of you who take part of the weekend and want to sit back and relax and watch movies, if maybe you have absolutely nothing to do or something keeps you bounded in the house, or maybe the weather, or maybe you're a little ill or something, and the best medication for that is watching TV and watching some of those old movies. I mean, I love those old movies. Well, I have my picks of the week. You may have some that you want to catch up on, but I have my picks of the week. So we're going to get started with them right now. Let's get started. Here's another one. It's a comedy. It's a comedy. It's called Four for Texas, 1963, starring Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Anita Ekberg. And that comes on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch it this Saturday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern. It's a good movie. I've seen it before. I'll watch it again. You know, this is one of those movies that's rare. They don't show it that much. And you can only see it on Turner Classic Movies. I haven't seen it anyplace else. I remember in the old days, they used to show them on the local channels, sometimes late at night, but Turner Classic Movies has it for you. Also, here's another one I like, starring Jack Lemmon, Anne Bancroft, and Gene Saks. It's called The Prisoner of Second Avenue. That's back in 1975. And that's coming on too, also on Turner Classic Movies, but this one is on Sunday morning at 4 a.m. I'll give it to you anyway, because now that you know it's on 4 a.m., all you have to do is, before you go to bed, DVR it, and then you could wake up the following day or whenever, and you can watch it anytime you like. I know you 4 a.m. Unless, of course, you're a 4 a.m. person, or maybe you have insomnia or something, and maybe you can't go to sleep. That's a good time to watch it. So there you go. And here's another classic, last but not least, A Hard Day's Night, 1964. It's been a hard day's night. Who did that? The Beatles, and Beatles star in this one, and that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check this out on Sunday as well, but it's at 8 a.m. Still too early? DVR it. That's the best way to do it, DVR it. And all of these movies are never overlapped. You can watch them all in full. I designed it that way. And you can always go to Turner Classic Movies and check out more movies. Now, there may be some that you'll see that, oh, he didn't mention that. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that these are my picks of the week. And there may be others that you may watch and you want to DVR them as well and put them on your bucket list on what to watch. You can do that too. Also, while you're there on demand, there are a lot of great movies too on demand, from A to Z, movies from 1930s on up, movies that you haven't seen in a long time, and movies that would jog your memory, a whole list of them. And there are also great network movies, like Lifetime movies, see what's available on there. There are also good sporting events that if you don't get to see in real time, you can, depending on the network, you can go on the network the following day, not on the network, but on demand. And you could watch it then, sometimes without commercials, sometimes, depending on the sporting event. And of course, you have documentaries and kids program, the whole 9 yards. It's right there. And of course, you'll love it. So please, and I hope you enjoy them. So let me repeat those movies once again for you. Let's go. It's Four for Texas, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Anita Ekberg. That's Turner Classic Movies. You can see that Saturday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern. The Prisoner of Second Avenue, Jack Lemmon, Anne Bancroft, and Gene Saks. That's Sunday morning at 4 a.m. Eastern. and A Hard Day's Night with the Beatles, Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's all right there on Turner Classic Movies. That's going to wrap it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to leave you, but I will be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll have the coffee hour. Brian Camp is going to be here with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And I hope you will be here too. And we'll talk a lot of issues, anything that you want to talk about. And also, again, meet me back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. Of course, again, Brian Kemp will be along with me, and he will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports. I hope to see you then. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Remember, toodaloo. Take care.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.